What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a little title. I don't get to check out little titles very much anymore. The channel tends to focus on, like, the AAA indie games, but I figured I'd go back to my roots, back to the days of Runers. Today we're checking out a game that's only like $2, $3, and it's in early access right now, and I've actually been quite enamored with it. It's taken me back to my childhood. It really sincerely has. This is one of those games that if it was on the Super Nintendo, I would have dumped hundreds of hours into it as a kid. Vampire Survivors. If you don't know what this game is, it's actually kind of a clever little title. I know, like, in the first couple minutes of this video, once we start playing, you're going to be like, I don't see the appeal, but trust me, it's there. The Vampire Survivors is a reverse bullet hell. So in the case of most bullet hell games, you are a character, and you are tasked with precise movement to avoid bullets and avoid getting annihilated. This is a roguelike that is a little bit different. In this game, you are the bullet hell, and the enemy is trying to get through your bullets. And so anyways, the game's in early access. There's not a whole lot of content here just yet, but there is, if the core gameplay loop gets its hooks into you, like it has with me, I think you're going to have a really, really good time. So we're going to dive on into Vampire Survivors. As of right now, it's got 3 or 4 different characters. It's got a number of different items. We have a collection over here. This is kind of what exists inside the framework of the game as of right now, but there's going to be more added with time. That's the nice thing about early access games. So let's dive on in, and I'll give you some rough idea about how the game functions. We got to pick a character at the beginning. You can get Antonio. He's all about melee attacks. You can get Imelda, who I haven't played yet, and then you can get Pascalina, who I've played quite a bit, who is all about magic and ranged. Let's go ahead and try out the new character, actually, Imelda. I haven't tried her out yet, so we'll give her a go. Your average run in this game is only like 5-10 minutes long before you get annihilated, but it is really, really fun, and so we get more XP every 5 levels. Okay, sounds good. This is the game. You move around with W, A, S, and D. You pretty much have no control over your character except for movement and facing. She's auto-casting those magic missiles right now to kill enemies, and this game is going to get crazy very, very quickly. The blue crystals that I picked up off the ground, those are XP crystals. As you get more of them, you level up, and you get an opportunity to get randomly selected abilities that are going to make you stronger. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and get her magic wand all nice and suited up so that we can fire 2 magic wand bullets. So as you can see, the only downside to the 2 magic wand bullets is that they tend to fire at the exact same target, which is like a good thing in some cases, and it's like a bad thing in other cases. So we are going to want to diversify our spell roster a little bit. With the UI in the top left, you can see what abilities we currently have stacked up, what relics we've picked up along the way. Up here, you can see with this skull how many enemies we've killed. This is how much money you've accumulated over the course of your run. Your money stays. So when you die, you keep your money and use it to buy new characters, to buy new abilities, to buy new items, stuff like that to give your better self a better chance of surviving. I'm going to go ahead and take the King Bible. That sounds good. Every now and again, there's going to be a Bible that circles around me, and then I can walk into the enemy and annihilate them. So there it is right there. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long, and it's not very good at level 1, but the King Bible is actually kind of underrated if you put the time in. Those little light sconces right there, they drop items, so you'll see that we got 1 gold out of that. That's not very much, considering most things in this game cost like hundreds of gold to unlock, but we will get more gold from other sources later on down the line. I do think that we're going to need a spell that's going to be a little bit more of a heater, a little bit more of a hitter, before we go too much further on into the game, but I'm just going to kind of let these guys group up and creep forward a little bit. Got a little bit of damage out of the Bible right there, which is fantastic. We'll go ahead and grab a couple more XP crystals right there from along the periphery of the fight. The good news is none of your items disappear off the ground. They stay there forever, which is like good. Good job, devs. I hate it in video games when items disappear off the ground and start blinking and stuff. We've got the Pichon. I've never seen that item before, so I'm going to take it. It looks like it actually bombards enemies in differing directions, so that should be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it doesn't like have any, persistent targeting or anything else like that. But once we start, ooh, there's a red gem over here. That's like basically an instant level up at this level. Yeah, I'll risk it for the biscuit to grab that. Let's go ahead and we'll get another King Bible. That way we have many, many more Bibles orbiting around us. We do have a nasty little group of bats right there. This game has kind of like modifiers that are going to randomly trigger. Oh, we barely got away with that one. That was almost really, really bad. And these little bat swarms are one of those modifiers. It doesn't particularly tell you what modifier is actively happening at any moment, but like there's undead armies that will spawn and they'll march at you from one direction in like an endless wave. There's plants that encircle you and slowly creep inwards and block your area of movement. There's the bat swarms, which are obviously going to force you to GTFO pretty hard. There's another level up right there. That looks good. I'll probably fires one more projectile and the base area is larger. I'm going to get the whip, actually. So what the whip does is it makes me swing in one direction. I don't have a whole lot of stuff that I can target manually right now. And so I'd like to have an attack in my repertoire that I've got a little bit of control over. So as you can see right there, it penetrates enemies too and allows us to clear out walls of enemies a little bit more effectively than anything else we currently have in our repertoire. There's a little bit of food over here. This game does have weaponized achievements. What I mean by weaponized achievements is that you will get unlocks in this game based on things you do during your playthrough. So stuff like pick up 200 coins in one playthrough, stuff like heal yourself 20 times in one playthrough. I will take the wings for a little bit of extra speedy movement. That sounds really, really good. But this is a minimalist game that really draws from kind of the Robotron sphere of games. And if you don't know what Robotron is, I'm really dating myself right there, but Robotron was very much a game just like this in arcades when I was a kid. But the graphics were simpler back then. And I know what you're saying. You're like, well, this game has pretty simple graphics. How much simpler could it be? Robotron was mostly made out of, like, triangles and squares and stuff. But it was the same general idea. Endless waves of enemies attack you. You get different abilities and stuff. And you wipe out thousands of enemies. Let's go ahead and make our magic wand a little bit faster. That speeds it up a little bit. And I think that might actually be kind of helpful. These Bibles out here doing work right now, man. The old King James actually really taking down some undead enemies. We've got a little bit of a zombie apocalypse army thing happening right now, or like a skeletal apocalypse. Ooh, money bag. Yeah, I'll take that. Give me that money bag right there. I like progression. Progression is fun. All right, so we're going to move through the middle right there. We got some ghosty boys we got to deal with. I do think that the map is a little bit barren, and so I would like to see, like, things on the map, like... So, for example, as it stands right now, it seems like the map works on a loop. You kind of just walk around. What I actually think would be a really compelling idea is if the map had cells, and each cell had a random chance. Let's say that we have, like, 12 by 12 grid of squares for your average playthrough that repeats when you walk too far in one direction. And on those squares, you could put things like a village, and inside the village, there's a blacksmith, and the blacksmith can upgrade your abilities for some of your currency in order to get things going. And in another area, there's going to be a wizard tower. The wizard tower upgrades your magical abilities. Honestly, they don't even really need it to refresh. I think they could use that idea right there actually fairly successfully as an onus to move the character around if they played around with that idea. So let's say every 5 minutes they refresh, and if you go there and you interact with the NPC, you get a basically permanent buff for the rest of the run. And like every 5 minutes, the shop opens back up and you've got to get back over there. That might actually really encourage kind of risk-reward behavior, being like, okay, can I get over there? I'm going to try to get over there so that I can get my upgrade. You know, like little things like that I think would actually really, really help out. We'll go ahead and continue working on these little dudes over here. I think we've actually got a decent build going right now. By this point in the game, I'm usually moving around a lot more and avoiding dying a lot more. Another level up right there. Let's go ahead and get another magic wand projectile. Sure, why not? Yep, turn that thing into a veritable submachine gun if we can. All right, so we're going to see... You see what I'm getting at here when I said when you start out, it's not a very interesting game? But, like, once you get, like, 5-10 minutes in, you're like, oh, this is a power fantasy game. Like, this is a game where you're supposed to be hanging out, like, annihilating stuff. Let's go ahead and we'll take another Pichon upgrade. That sounds good. I'm going to work on these critters over here and hopefully create a hole so that I can escape. That's what I prefer to do anyways. Come on. Ugh, they got too much HP. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of here in time. If we can magic missile this zombie down. Oh, we took a bunch of damage right there. But it looks like they're gone, and we got a little bit more money on that side, so I'm going to pick it up. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a freezer. I've done a couple of playthroughs, and I've never seen that item drop before, so I'll take it. We'll grab some XP over here. Use this brief respite that we've got from the enemy in order to grab some of the goodies. I actually really, really like that item. A little bit more money for the cash stack for when we get back to the village. Let's go ahead and we'll grab a few more gems over here. Good, good, good. The Bibles are great for clearing out those little light sconces, because sometimes with certain characters, you don't have any abilities that directly target things that you're looking at, and so it can be actually really, really difficult to, like, single target, though. Oh, this might have been a mistake. I might have made a mistake. Okay, we made it through. We're all right. We're good. I'm just going to hang tight for a minute and let the enemies converge a bit until I have, like, a rough idea where they're coming from. We're not getting a lot of XP right now, which is not great. I prefer to kind of constantly have XP ticking upwards because as you get further, once we get around 10 minutes, you'll see what I mean. Like, you basically need to be OP by the time 10 minutes kicks off. So we've got about 3.5 minutes to make that happen. Unfortunately, we got the green zombies are really, really beefy, and they're really, really, like, stacked and hard to kill. However, if I could get Pachon to attack in the right direction. There we go. Pachon did a little bit right there. I feel like we might have a little bit of a chance. I'm going to go ahead and clear out some light sconces real fast. I don't know what that does either. What does that do? Oh, it's a screen wipe. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. Let's go ahead and our magic wand. We've got a lot of points in magic wand, so I think it's a good idea to put a little bit more treasure chest! Treasure chest frenzy! Play the music! That's what I mean is this game has a very simple presentation, but with regards to, like, the music design and, like, the soundtrack and, like, the way that it gives you chests and whatnot, it becomes abundantly clear really fast that this is kind of a modern game that's trying to... Oh, I want that other chest right there. It's not going to disappear. We just got to wait for our moment. It does give you an arrow that tells you where the chest is going to be each time, so you never lose the chest. Ooh, reduces weapon cooldown by... Ooh, damages nearby enemies? Yeah, I'll take some garlic. That sounds good. Let's get the garlic gun going out here. I unlocked the garlic on my last run, and I haven't had a chance to try it out, so I'm sort of the opinion that I would very much like to try out the garlic. I want this chest right here, and they're not making it easy. Like, they know I want the chest, too. So they're, like, glomping on it, man. Zombies out here actually showing pretty solid tactical reasoning. I'm just gonna go for it. Come on, what have we got? We got another whip upgrade, so our whip is actually at level 3 now, so it should start swinging on both sides of us, if I remember correctly. No, it's just a damage buff. Let's go ahead and we will get... Let's get another whip attack over here. That sounds good. I mean, we've got a lot of points in whip, and it's starting to deal some, like, serious concurrent damage. And like I said, we need to be OP in the next 2 to 3 minutes, and so, like... Hopefully I can get OP very, very soon, because we're starting to get the big upgraded bats over there, and that's when this starts to get a little bit more hectic, because they're fast, they deal a lot of damage, they soak a lot of damage. It can be kind of a nightmare to get rid of the big bats. However, with the upgraded whip, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job right now. Oh, we barely snuck through that bat horde right there. Very nice. Come on. Get that big bat right there. We got like a screen wipe or anything around here? I'm going to keep working towards the lanterns. The lanterns seem like they may solve problems for me if I can get a few more screen wipes and whatnot lined up, because the enemy is starting to get hectic out here. We're starting to get into the meat and potatoes, that real banger part of the game where your OP-ness begins to be tested. You know what I mean? And when people are looking at your OP-ness, you want them to be impressed. Let's see here. Actually, we've got them lined up pretty good right now. Fire another projectile. Yeah. Not bad, actually. Not bad. This is going pretty good. If you hear my cat screaming in the background, I apologize. It's because he's locked in the room with me right now. And he desperately feels that now that it's time for me to, like, earn a living and do my job, that he deserves to escape. He wanted to be in here so badly until I was paying attention to making an episode. And then... he has decided that now that all of the attention is not on him, he's leaving me forever out of spite, and he's never going to talk to me again. I'd like to break this open right here. No screen wipe. Okay. I want there to be a screen wipe. Like, I want to have a screen wipe that's just hanging out that I can use when I feel like I'm going to need it. But unfortunately, all we're getting is singular pennies for right now. Yeah, big bats still aren't going down, no matter how dope I am. It's a little bit unfortunate. We're trying to put some damage on the big bats. We did get some food right there, though, so that's not... Oh, we're trapped. Obviously not a great situation to be in. We've got the plant thing happening right now. I'll be honest with you, this is where I lose 90% of my characters right here, is when is when we get trapped in by the plants. Luckily, I'd like to level up my garlic, actually. Hey, there's the exit right there. We should probably get out of here before the exit gets inundated by enemies. Yep, just let them taste the garlic out here. I put garlic on everything when I cook, so I get it. Let them taste it, dude. This would be pleasant for me. I'd be like, ooh, this wizard lady smells like garlic. I love garlic. I think this is love. But, like, you know, zombies feel differently about it. Screen wipe? Nope, no screen wipe. Man, I feel like I'm, like, flipping the cards right now in the deck. We made it past 10 minutes, though, so that's a solid start. Nothing to complain about, nothing to be ashamed about as a new player making it 10 minutes. We are in the zombie army phase of the game, officially. So we need to pick a direction, and we need to get out of it, basically. I think I see our opening right there, so I'm going to go for it. Let me get the garlic upgrade. Woo! Okay, we found our opening, we got out, but they are converging pretty aggressively. So I would rather not hang out and get trapped here. Getting some serious mileage out of Pachon right now, so that's good. Pachon, Pachon, carry me to victory, Pachon. We are going to need to continue cutting in a direction here. I don't want to spread my damage around too much. We got another level up. That's good. Go ahead and give me base spread on my Bible real fast. That's some good Bibling right there. I grew up in a religious family. That's some damn good Bibling right there, boy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue annihilating enemies when and where we can. We're almost at the 2,000 enemy mark, which is really, really rad and fantastic. Glad to see it. Okay, we've got a little bit of a breather right here. I'm not going to go too wild and crazy, but I am going to get a little bit more aggressive. Oh, we've got werewolves in here now. And we've got bats. We've really got to see if the bats are... I think our garlic actually takes out the bats now, so we don't need to worry about it. The protective shield of garlic is making us strong. The downside to this is that I'm not really getting an opportunity to loot any of the XP or anything else. The garlic is also getting the ghosts, which is fantastic as well. Okay. If I can just find the edge of this horde and just kind of group them up, like we can actually start sort of shaving away the edges like a pleasing carve into a fresh pot, fresh jar of peanut butter. That should be a level up right there. Let's go ahead and keep reducing weapon cooldowns. I'd like to be attacking as fast as possible. We've got a whole bunch of XP down here from where we did all that mayhem earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that on up. And there's another level up. Let's go ahead and I'm going to raise the damage inflicted by all abilities by 5%. This might be it right here, though. Oh, just barely carved through to the other side. I had to make a tough clutch decision right there, and not one that I was happy about. I think we're gonna have to go this way. Ghost got a little bit more of my health off. Come on, food. I need food here. I need food. Help your man out. Anything but 1 coin. Oh no, dude. Oh no. Oh God. There's so many things happening. I'm legitimately terrified for my safety right now. Oh my God. Yep, just cut through the middle nice and quick and clean. We weren't as OP as we needed to be. I am under OP'd. My OPness was gazed upon and was found to be wanting and lacking in many different parameters. Food? I don't even know what I just picked up right there. I have no clue. Oh, it sucks in all the XP. Glorious. Bible? Yes, let's get some better Bibling going on. Dude, that's an amazing ability. All cooldowns down. And then we'll go with movement speed. And that looks like that is the duration of every piece of XP on the map that we had missed. I have like 0... Oh, hell, thank God, dude. I needed that so bad. And so as you can see, this game turns out to be much more than what it promises on the tin. For $3, I've been having a blast with this game over the last couple hours. Like, just getting to this phase of the game and just seeing the mayhem and the chaos that unfolds is such like a reward and like a treasure. This is a game that really like encourages you to be overpowered and like in a very, very real way sort of indulges that power fantasy aspect of gaming that I think is very, very important to to secure sails. Oh, they spawned in right there. That's a bummer. I was going to go for that sconce over there. Oh, no, dude. Plants. Oh, no. Ah! And that's the game. That's it right there. Vampire Survivors. As we get out of here, we've unlocked the lightning ring, so that's really, really cool. And then we can go back in. We've got $548 right now. I don't know if there's actually anything that I can buy here. We've got a number of different buffs and things that we can pick up, and these are going to be just kind of general upgrades. So we've got everything from movement speed increases. We've got projectile increases, although that's very, very pricey. We can level up our luck, which gives us more selections when we level up. We've got the magnet, which allows us to pick things up from further away. I think that's really, really cool. We get more coins. I think that's usually like a pretty good place to start with. Oh, we get regeneration too. Okay, I'm going to take a level of regeneration, and I'm going to take a level of greed. I also like that in forward thinking, they've already allowed you to refund your power-ups if you wanted to move your allocations around. That's a very often ignored thing. We'll go with Antonio on this run. Oh, we unlocked a new stage, too. Let's do the library. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Oh, it's got a different soundtrack, too. Love that. Let's see. So we can get a knife that we can fire. We've got damage zones with the Santa water. I'll go ahead and do that. And also, it's got new enemies. Hell yeah. I was expecting that there would kind of be like recolors or something going on. But we've actually got different enemy sets inside this new map. I'm going to see where I can deal some damage right here. There we go. There we go. A little bit more. We took some damage right there. It's okay. We've got regeneration now. Holy water made a little fire zone right there, so that's good. Holy water landed really good on that side. Very, very funky soundtrack. I'm digging it. It's definitely, like, everything about this game really encapsulates the simplicity in style and form of games from, like, 1995 with, like, a modern veneer, and that's what I love about it. Let's go ahead and we will get an extra whip, so now we swing on both sides of ourselves. I'm a big fan of the whip. I feel like the whip underrated. Whip is pretty dope because now I can just kind of move in like a figure 8 or almost in like a circle. I'm going to go with some movement speed. That sounds good. Come on. I want to see what enemies exist like later on in this stage. There we go. Kill them. Kill them all dead. Yep, get them cleared out. There we go. Couple more kills on that side. Looking good. And we are getting a little bit pinched right now. And so this is kind of like a cylinder, basically, which actually changes things around a little bit with regards to what you'd want to focus on. The map design actually dictating the proper course to take when it comes to leveling up your character is something that I'm a fan of as well. A little bit of money, a little bit of XP out of that sconce right there. So yeah, this one's a bit more of a side-scroller right here. So you're going to want to prioritize attacks that allow you to attack directionally rather than things that are omnidirectional. So, like, we lucked out here in that, like, our whip is, like, the king of directional attacks. I think I'm going to spin around and see if there's any way I can work my way back to this XP over here. Even if it costs me HP, I'm okay in going for it. So we've got better projectile speed. I think we probably want to go with, let's get a knife, I guess. The knife is just going to throw in kind of like 8 directions, depending on which way you're facing. You've got some kind of rotten thing right there. I don't know what it is, but it just bit me, so I'm going to assume that it's not benevolent. Those are little Medusa heads right there. Where does that cut up to? It doesn't cut up to, like, anywhere. Okay, XP acquisition's going to be tough on this level. Yeah, just keep wiping them out a little bit. All right. We're going to want to flip a bitch on this one in just a second and turn around and go back the other direction for, like, maybe the opportunity to grab some of this XP that's around because, like, passing on XP is a terrible idea in this game. Let me get another Santa water. That sounds good. A little bit of that extra Santa fire. It just creates those little dead zones that the enemies can't cross. And I find that it's good for kind of like whittling away at waves. It is unfortunate that the Santa water can land outside the field of play. That's something that I'd like to see changed. It should stay inside the confines of like the walkable area where the player can traverse. I'll take extra 10% damage right there. Sounds good. But this is a very rapid fire, very entertaining, very cool game. And like for $3, dude, the fact that I've already gotten like 4 or 5 hours out of this game and I want to play like way more, just due to, like, I get roped in on power fantasy games. I really sincerely do. Stuff like this, Wizard of Legend, games that allow you to really, really fundamentally lean into the rule of cool and become, like, overpowered and kill, like, hundreds of enemies at a time. That tends to be my bread and butter. That tends to be, like, my jam. That's the stuff that I enjoy the most. Now, we got our first big enemy starting to spawn in right here. So we'll go ahead and kind of walk in a direction right here. We'll keep it kind of tight. I'm going to dip in and grab some of the goodies right there. I haven't seen my Santa water deploy in a while. Santa water, why you slacking? There you are. In some ways, this is actually simpler. Randomly strikes enemies in the lower half of the screen. Okay. So that's actually like a positional ability that we've got to pay attention to. Oh, I was hoping it was going to chain around. Alas, no chaining. But I do like that they have abilities that force you to think about where you want to keep the camera focus. Like little fourth wall breaking abilities like that are actually kind of cool. Like, I dig that. It actually seems to be doing a pretty good job. I'm going to have to lose some HP right there. I didn't want to, but I made mistakes with my movement, and so... A little bit more XP right there. Love to see it. I could have snuck down and through right there, but I have an opportunity on this side to kind of clear in one direction. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, this is Vampire Survivors. I hope you guys dug it. Like, I'm really, really, really enjoying this game. This is a game that, in my mind, has really tapped into something simple and has really tapped into something addictive simultaneously. And it's really a shame that it's sitting on Steam right now with like 3 reviews. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to toss my hat into the ring. I'm going to help this game out. I'm gonna help this one. Ooh, we got a big assembly of candelabras down here. Unfortunately, grabbing them has gotten me into trouble. Yeah, Vampire Survivors. If you're into retro-styled Robotron games with a little bit of like a roguelike bent to them, you could do a whole lot worse. I am very, very excited to see where this game goes, because it seems to me that the developers have a solid grasp of gaming fundamentals and like what makes a game fun to play. So despite the fact that the game is not like crazy pretty to look at, and the game on the visual respect is not much to write home about, with regards to the gameplay, I think they've really, really latched onto something here that speaks to me as a gamer. Like, this is the kind of game, boiled down, that I personally like to play. A few observations. I would like to see a full screen mode. You have no doubt noticed that I letterboxed this video. That's because the game plays in a window and does not have a full screen mode available. And so anyways, that's something that I would get on sooner rather than later, adding like a full screen kind of 720p, even if it's stretched, or like a 1080p display. I would definitely work on that. And then honestly, it's a lot of meta progression stuff. Like, I would love for there to be kind of like an animated village in between runs. So instead of buying upgrades from just like that sterile menu that they have, like you go back to kind of like a headquarters, or you go back to kind of like a witch hunter's base, and you upgrade little buildings to get those same luck upgrades and HP upgrades and stuff like that, and incrementally the buildings get more impressive and things of that nature. As you kind of level up your character, I would like to see sort of a Gauntlet Legends type deal going on, where as you hit, like, so for example, we're at level 14 right now. Like, it'd be cool if every 14 levels your character's model got a little bit cooler. So you start out basically just like a guy with a shirt and some pants and a whip, and then, like, you know, at level 10 he's now got like a pauldron. At level 15 he's now got like a helmet. At level 20 he's now got like a breastplate. It doesn't actually like affect the gameplay, but like it sort of allows the visual. I find that as an end user, I like it when there's some kind of visual progression to my character's model. That's just me. But the game is $3 right now on Steam, and honestly, for $3, I feel like you could buy a whole lot more crappier games. That's my honest opinion. This is a cool title that really sort of blindsided me and surprised me. And like, I like being surprised. I don't get surprised a ton anymore doing this job. Like, it turns out, like, one of the things is you kind of churn through like 1,000 games a year, and sometimes the magic can wear off a little bit. And I know you're not supposed to say stuff like that out loud, but I feel like it's important to address, because like when you do what I do, it's really easy to slide into a mindset where you're like, oh, I've seen everything. But like, I'm really, really glad to report that Vampire Survivors is not that case. I don't have much to complain about here. I'd love to see a 1080p full screen support added. I'd love to see more immersive things added rather than just simple menus for the upgrades and things like that. But like, at the end of the day, the game really corners the entire point of a video game, which is to be fun and to provide escapism. Like, the whole thing drips with kind of a style and love that the simple sprites and art don't really initially inspire. When you first take a look at the screenshots, like, this is that Hallmark sort of game where you have to play it for yourself, because the screenshots are not going to do it justice. Like, I've put about 4 hours into the game, and, like, I'm honestly super excited to jump back in for more runs. And in fact, I've been squeezing in a run here and there wherever I can, because, like, I play other games, but they usually have me doing busy work or waiting for a timer to tick down before I can do, like, a thing. And so this game fits in perfectly inside of that bracket. It's super appealing, coming in weak and vulnerable to the enemy, and getting to a level where you're mowing down dozens of enemies per attack while dancing to kind of the super chest loot music. Did I mention super chests? I didn't know about super chests when I recorded this video. They're super chests, and they are super, super, super fun, as the name super might imply. But, like, it's that whole thing that makes the game an absolute riot to play. I can't recommend it highly enough. I loved it. I'll be watching the early access very eagerly for more content, items, gear, additions, enemies, that kind of stuff. But for right now, it's time for me to go. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the file to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Vampire Survivors. It's like $3. I promise you're going to have a good time. I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping on in, and I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet. Bye, everybody.